Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the SwansCast podcast. If you watched the last episode, you'll know this is part 2 of the same episode. We went on for quite some time, so decided to split it into 2. So this half we'll be talking about the transfer window in all of its glory, rating all of the transfers out of a rating of 10. So enjoy and let us know your thoughts in the comments about a transfer business, who's the best signing, and what you rate all of the players out there. Basically, we're going to rank all of the transfers. I think it's 13 of them altogether, I want to say.
Oh, we brought in 13 players?
Yeah.
Fair play.
You didn't even realise, do you?
No, I didn't think it was that many.
13 players. So we're going to go through them.
Widell, who technically joined in January, but in my opinion, it's a new signing. It is.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I'm including Widell. Out of 10, I've discussed it with the lads before we come on. It's very difficult. There's no definitive way of ranking. Everyone will have their own reasons for what they're going to give. What we're going to do is we're going to rank them, then we're going to compare them at the end of the season and compare them in a blind way. Like, I'm not going to remind us what we ranked, and we're going to rank them after we've seen a year of them to say, like, okay, how much impact did they actually have? So we're just going to base it on basically like how they fit the squad, what sort of job they're going to come in and do, like what gaps do they fill in, how much do we need that player, as well as factors like the price, the age, maybe the resale value, all that sort of stuff. So we've had a quick think. So it's a little bit on the spot, I think, but we'll see what we come up with. So obviously we're starting with Cameron Burgess, centre-back brought in on a free transfer from Ipswich. I have got transfer marked open. It's where I got all the information from. So if you've got any questions, I can refer back to that. But yeah. 17 caps for Australia as well, 29 years old. He's 30 next month. Just thought I'd put that in there because obviously that's quite soon. So what we saying about Cameron Burgess?
I'm quoting George Ehrlich from Not the Top 20 podcast, which is the best championship podcast.
That's what I saw. I saw that earlier as well.
Yeah, I'm quoting him, and that was a quote from, it was mid-July, mid to end July, not long after he signed. And he said signing in the summer in the championship. So obviously August has happened since then. But we're talking about a guy who went up automatically with Ipswich, played regularly then, played somewhat regularly in the Premier League, despite the fact that they'd signed a £20 million centre-back, and Jacob Greaves was also left-footed like Burgess is. I have it on good account from one of my friends who's an Ipswich fan. He was their best centre-back in the Premier League last year, in a side that went down, but still the best centre-back for a Premier League side last year. Got him on a free transfer, got it done quietly out the way to replace the one key player we lost this summer in Harry Darling. For me, I don't know how you can't put 10, because if you've got people who are like good at their job saying he's one of the best signings in the championship this season, free transfer, 3-year deal as well, which considering he doesn't look the quickest anyway, I can't see it being too much of an issue. I don't know how you can't say it's not a 10, because easily a top 6 player, not being funny, and he's gone up automatically before, so you could even say he's like a automatic promotion level player, which we just don't sign these days, do we?
No, fair enough. That's some good points. Lee?
Yeah, no, I can't disagree. I was going to say 10 for this because no, but you can just see the quality he's got. And I mean, I think like he's had the armband as well when Cabango's not been there already. So I think there's not really much more you can say than that. He's just plugged him in, and he's top championship. Like you haven't really noticed that he's a new player. He's just gone in there, and he's just so comfortable, and he just looks quality. And he's gonna do wonders for Cabango as well, playing next to him. So I think just everything is just like perfect signing, like you said. Nobody saw it coming. We all thought like, oh great, we're gonna really miss Darling. We're desperate for a centre half, and we're not even missing that at all. Like, so it can only be 10. What signing that was.
Kind of want to just not have a full round of 10s here, so I'm going to go 9. Only because I agree with everything both of you just said, right? The only reason I'm marking them down, because I want 10 to be like perfect, yeah? And I'm not saying everything you've said is not true. I think the only thing that makes it not perfect is probably the age. But like that's beggars can't be choosers sort of territory. I think 9 is still a really good score. But like that's all I'm basing it on. Basically, that's the only thing I'm downgrading him on is the age, which is an uncontrollable, but it is still a factor in like say 2 years time, 3 years time. Do you have to replace him then? Which whatever, that's fine. I take that all day anyway. But that's why I'm not giving it a 10. Which I think is fair.
I know. I get what you're saying. I think it is. I think it's perfect. I think his age is giving him the experience.
No, I can't disagree. I can't like knock your scores. I
know.
For me, like a 10 needs to be like there isn't anything I would change, but I would like him to be younger. So
I think that is perfect. I for what we needed as well, like with Darlin.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just
fair enough. Let's go on to Galbraith, Ethan Galbraith. So he is obviously sent to midfield. I put right back in brackets because we might see him there. He's been there already and did a bit there before. 24 years old, which I thought he was a bit younger, to be honest. But yeah, 24 years old. Northern Ireland, he's played 7 times for the national team from Leyton Orient. Undisclosed fee, which I believe was in the fee in the region of around 1.5 million euros. Ben, you might
potentially rising to 3 million. I think it's £1.5 million pound, potentially rising to 3 mil, probably based on maybe Northern Ireland, maybe based on Swans promotion, maybe based on appearances.
Okay,
these fees we never know anymore, do we? It's just like
they're always undisclosed with the Swans anyway.
Yeah, well, it's there now for when we look back and we forget that information is now there. Not that I think anyone will care if he carries on the way that he's going. So Lee, you can kick us off with this one.
Yeah, it's maybe just my rose-tinted glasses again, just based on the transfer window, like as a whole, and based on what we've seen so far. I'm going 10 again because I can't fault anything with his signing. I know you said you thought he was younger, but still 24.
No, the age is fine. I just
I know, but like so he's relatively young. He's come up from League One, like we said. He's got the experience, the physicality. He can play 2 positions at like top level. Like he's been brilliant in playing right back and in centre midfield. And from what I've seen of him, he's just been. I don't know how. Like I didn't actually know a lot about him. Like I didn't watch a lot of Leyton Orient last year, so only just heard good things. But wow, like what? I'm surprised no one else had snapped him up, to be honest. And I think surrounding, like we were all kind of like, oh, we've lost O'Brien. We want to get O'Brien back. And then they just kind of quietly said, oh, we've signed Galbraith. And then what he's turned out to be, I just think is what another great signing. He's just been amazing.
Yeah, between him and Stamenic, I'm actually not that bothered about O'Brien anymore. I'm not going to lie.
We thought we were gutted, like we didn't get. If I'd said to you at the end of last season, oh look, we're not going to get Darlin, we're not going to get O'Brien, we all would have been like, oh my god, we're really struggling here. We need, and like this is not even an issue at all.
Maybe we'll come back onto it when we get to Stamenic, but out of the 2 from Nottingham Forest, maybe later in the year we can ask that question: do we get the better one? But feel like there's a more unique role there. But anyway, I'm going off on a tangent here. I'm going to go 9 again, and I haven't got nothing bad to say. But like, I feel like I want to have the opportunity as well for these players to do a full season, for me to look at them and be like, you've exceeded my expectations. You know what I mean? It's like ranking them already out of 10, you're only ever going to go down.
No, but this is the signing, isn't it? Like
yeah. No, I think again, quality for all what we needed. I just don't want the 10 to be dished out like easy for me anyway. But I haven't got any issues with this signing, to be honest. I think the only thing, and I think he will get better as the season goes on, because I think it's obviously experience at the level, like the first half against Watford, for example, where they were quite combative in midfield. He went a little bit quiet compared to what we've seen in other games. So maybe there's some stuff in the midfield that can nullify his presence, but that's obviously something for him to work on as we go forward. But he's still developing, isn't he? Which is fine. Completely fine with that. And I'm sure he will develop as the year goes on into even better than what we've seen already. So, Ben?
I'm going 9 as well. Like, let me be clear. I think he's been exceptional. 3 man of the match performances in a row. You don't need me to say how good he's been. Versatile, like Lee said. Only thing I am going to point out, almost all of our signings who are of like a younger age have signed 4 or 5 year deals. He sort of went away from the crowd a bit and signed a 3-year deal plus 1 year option for the club, which doesn't sound like a difference, really. It's not in reality, is it? But I do just get the feeling he won't be here in 18 months. I'm not gonna lie. I think he knows he isn't far off, like, gaining interest from the higher ends of the Championship and more, and for that reason he didn't sign on for a guaranteed 4-year deal or 5-year deal. And I do just see him being somebody who he's already worth a lot more than £1.5 million. I don't know how. I know he had a year in his deal with Leyton Orient, but I don't know how we've got him that cheap and unrivaled. I know Sheffield United were linked. I'm honestly surprised there wasn't more interest in him, like Lee said. But yeah, if we don't go up this season, which, we could be in a playoff battle, let's wait and see how it plays out. I'd be surprised if there aren't teams at the top end of the Championship chucking in like high 7-figure bids on him. I really would. So that's my only downside, the fact that he's going to be great, but enjoy him while he's here, because I don't think he'll be here long.
Yeah,
that's fair enough. I completely agree with the fee as well. I think we could probably sell him already for a bigger fee, I think. Inoussa then, so obviously left wing, 23 years old, from Sweden. I think he was originally from, or he qualifies for Benin potentially. Don't know why I put in brackets, to be honest. I can't remember which round it is now. No caps yet, but he's been capped under 21 level 4 times for Sweden, from Häcken in the Swedish leagues, and undisclosed again. 6 million euros is what's being touted, but I think there's some add-ons and stuff probably within that figure. So it's difficult to know.
I think it's probably quite a lot less, and then quite a lot of it's add-ons. I think I remember somebody saying it's more like 3 and a bit mil guaranteed, and then like 2 and a bit mil potential add-ons, which makes it look a lot better.
It's really difficult to put a finger on all these fees, to be honest. Shall I start this one off?
Yeah, go on.
I guess.
Yeah, go on.
I'm going to put him as a 7. I think there's potential, there's excitement. I don't think we've seen an awful lot of it yet, but I think he's obviously been working his way back from an injury as well, which is a bit unfortunate. The fee is a little bit high, considering a lot of it is potential. And I just think we just need to wait a bit longer to really judge this one. So I'm giving a bit more. Part of me wants to go 6, because I think for all those, I'm going to go 6. I'm changing it to 6 for all those reasons I just said. I don't think it's a bad signing by any means. You can't. Not every signing could be a 10. He could be a 10 by the end of the year, but he could also still be a 6 by the end of the year. If he carries on what he's shown so far this season, he's probably going to be a 6 or 7 by the end of the year. But I'm expecting to see a bit more as he develops into the season. But the fee, I think, means there's more scrutiny than if he's only putting out what we've seen so far. Because even Ronald's come in for enough criticism since he's joined Swansea, especially last season, and he was significantly less, I believe, than this fee when you add on all the add-ons. So, that's what I think anyway on this one. But I'm sure he will improve with more game time. Obviously, when he made his first start in the league against Sheffield Wednesday. So, Ben.
Yeah, 7. I'm echoing a lot of the reasons you just said, particularly the fee. It's not his fault, as it is. It won't be, the fault of other players who we've overspent on. I do think we've overspent a little bit on him. By all accounts, he's well regarded by analysts and people who have watched that league. He does excite me. He picks up the ball. He's quick. He's agile. He can go right and left, which makes it difficult for fullbacks. You can't exactly put him onto one foot. Sheffield Wednesday, when he started, I thought he had a really good game. He put the ball back into a dangerous area a couple of times and got the ball probably away into dangerous areas quicker than some of the other wingers that we've had in recent years. All I would say is that I do worry that fullbacks and midfielders are going to start finding them out, because what I'm noticing every time he receives the ball, he's doing the same action where he steps inside and takes a touch with his side foot in the direction he's going to move. And it's becoming quite repetitive. And I do worry that if he doesn't, shake up the way that he approaches, receiving the ball, he will become quite easy to defend against. And also, he is only young, 23. It's his first season in senior football in England, at least. And he's not ducked a water, but he's taken it to it well. Compared to Widell, who I know he was playing in Denmark, but he's also Swedish. He's come in and he's looking quite lively right off the bat. So I'm only hoping the rest of the season, maybe he'll get up to an 8 or 9, when we're reviewing, like Luke said, his potential there.
Lee?
I'm going 10 again. No, I'm joking.
I wasn't sure then for a second.
No, I'm going 7 as well. I'm going to say 7. Yeah, not really anything to add on what you boys have said, really. I was surprised if it's, the fee that they've said. It'd be quite, I know it's probably potential for a lot of add-ons, but no, I like what I've seen so far. I think, like you said, he come in with an injury. I think he's looked exciting from what I've seen. I think I think it's another just wait and see, really, because for me anyway, he's relatively unknown. I didn't know anything about him coming in, so literally just seeing it as a blank canvas as he's playing. So I give him maybe the 1 point extra from Luke 6, because I think just his presence coming in and having a bit of challenge to like and Ronald has given them a bit of a kick. Like I think Ronald's been so much better this year just because there's competition and it's quite hefty competition as well because he has looked sharp when he has played. So and obviously we'll come on to another winger that we've signed as well, which is going to increase that. But I think just the fact that he's come in and he's kind of hit the ground a bit running, even though he had an injury, he's looked quite sharp. I think has helped like boost Ronald's game as well.
Fair enough. Yeah, I can't argue with the competition. Bobby Wales then, obviously striker signed from Kilmarnock, 20 years old, Scottish under 19 level player. He's done 14 games at that level for them. Undisclosed fee again, surprise, surprise, believed to be around 300k euros. So he's obviously one for the future. He'd be brought in as. We have already seen him in the first team. He has already scored for the first team, so that's obviously a good start for him. I don't know how much more we're going to see of him, to be honest, over the course of the year, though. Whose turn is it? Ben, isn't it? Ben to start, I think.
5.
Okay.
Purely because I mentioned it earlier. I do honestly think the plan was for him to be third choice this season. And I think he may have been told that before joining. And then Vopotnik's ended up sticking around. We play with one striker. I can't see with the number of wingers and midfielders we have how we'll be playing with 2 anytime soon, unless it's chasing the game for the last 15 minutes. I can't see him get on the pitch for the rest of the season. That includes cup games. So for me, he's got his path to the first team blocked because you can't even look at his age now and say, oh yeah, but he's only like 17, 18. He'll has plenty of time to come good. Idah's 4 years older than him. Vopotnik's 2 years older than him. Cullen's 4 years older than him. None of our strikers are old. If they want to stick around, then we want them to stick around. There's no reason Idah can't still be here in 4 years. Bobby Wales would have had to have moved on by then through lack of game time and lack of development. So cheap fee, I don't think there's really much downside to the sign-in. But at that age, I'd like to think that there's a clearer pathway for him to play. You know what I mean? And I think he probably would have wanted that as well. So wait and see. He did well when he came on, for what it's worth, against
Crawley,
was it Crawley? Yeah, Crawley.
Yeah.
He did well. He really did impress me. He did more than Vopotnik did in that game. But he is clearly the fourth choice for me. And I just don't see that changing anytime soon. So for me, it's going to be a 5, just bang in the middle.
Lee?
Yeah, I'm going with a 5 as well. But not really much to add on what Ben said there either. I think I did like him when he came on. I said in that Crawley game, he looked good and he took his goal well. I thought maybe there was going to be more game time for him after that as well. I thought here we go. And I think the game after, he said he brought him on instead of Vopotnik. So I thought, Vopotnik's going and he's going to be getting a bit of game time. But now, obviously, in hindsight, with the options we've got in that striker room, it's a bit of a strange one. Maybe it's just a bit of a punt. It was a cheap fee. Youngster, if they can get a couple, like I said, I don't know where he's going to play because if anybody gets injured or he's way down the pecking order. But yeah,
he's one of the ones. He does sit on the bench now, does he? Like
no, he's not going to be on the bench, is he? No,
it's a 20-man squad. You're not going to have 3 strikers on the bench, so
no.
I think the same, to be honest. 5. I'm surprised he didn't end up going out on loan in the end.
Yeah,
if the plan was to bring in striker, I think maybe he will in January. Can he go on one now to lower league?
No, he wouldn't go as far as National League because he was playing.
Is that where they're allowed? Is it?
Yeah. Well, I don't. Even if it's not allowed, I don't think it would be the right choice. Like
no, I don't. Sorry, I didn't mean National League. I mean, like, will he go on loan now? The transfer window is shut. Can that happen?
I think it's only if it's like emergency keepers. I think January though. I'd be stunned if he doesn't go to like League 1 or High League 2.
Yeah, I feel like another Kyle Joseph sort of thing.
Yeah,
I don't think isn't good enough for the Championship. And Kyle Joseph, don't forget, is back in the Championship with Hull, has had a season or so there now. So he's made his way back up, but he didn't really get the chance when he was here. I feel like I'm worried that it's going to go the same sort of way. Bobby Wales can also play on the wing, on the right. It might be someone that finds some game time with a few injuries, and it's up to him to sort of show what he can offer. But I think that would be his only chance, really. Maybe he comes off the bench if we progress against Forest and get a lower team, but I don't really see how else, other than those two things, is going to be an opportunity for him. So expect to see his name on the under-21 team sheet, which at the end of the day, the fee for him to go into that squad is probably not bad for us in terms of him developing here for the future. But I would assume that he didn't sign for that, considering he was already getting first team action before he came.
Yeah, keep in mind, we have openly said, Montague has openly said, we're going to look to sign more players for low fees, like we did with Dan James, like we did with McBurney, to the youth development squad. He probably means more like 17, 18-year-olds rather than 20-year-olds. But it could signal the start of that. Who knows? Because there's clearly money there.
And you never know what happens with injuries. And he might get run in the team and then all of a sudden he's undroppable. But
yeah,
football's a funny thing. We could end up needing a two-strike formation at some point because, wingers are getting injured and the full-backs could become wing-backs. Then all of a sudden you're playing Vopotnik and Idah, or Idah and Cullen together, and you need someone off the bench, and then you could play. Simple things can happen.
Yeah. Ricardo Santos, centre-back, 30 years old. He's from, I think, originally Portugal, but he plays for Cape Verde now. I think it's only recent. It's one of them where he's probably getting capped late in his career because he qualifies from Bolton Wanderers on a free transfer.
I don't know, I want to go low on this one because I think it's probably the least exciting signing we've done all summer. Is it harsh if I say like 4? I just think
if that's what you want to say, then that's what you can say.
I don't really want to go lower than that, but I don't know. He was a free, so I guess he plugs a gap if we we're short, but then he's injured, so it's not really it's not really going to help us with the cover there. I don't really know what else much to say. He's already injured. I didn't hear good things. I didn't really know a lot about him again, but I didn't hear good things when he left Bolton. So I don't know. Just not one that filled me with a bit of excitement, but maybe just for cover if we ever need it.
I go in 3.
We did go lower than 4.
Yeah, I just think it screams of a Christian Pedersen, to be honest.
Yeah,
which I don't think is as complacent as that signing. I think it's a 4th choice. He's probably not on big money, which is the difference between Christian Pedersen. But in terms of his sort of involvement in the squad, is he going to get a game? I think that Casey's come in. We'll get on to him soon, and he looks good already as 3rd choice. I don't feel when Santos comes back, he's going to pip him. For me, though, the main reason, I guess we pick him up because he's free and his extra squad depth and cover. He did have good potential a couple of years ago and he had a solid season. The issue is he's been injury prone, which that really disrupted his form. That's what a lot of the Bolton fans were saying. And now he's getting on a bit. It's kind of he's probably he probably thought he was past his opportunity to rise up the league system. But a couple of years ago, he was a captain and actually quite a strong performer. But his injury record's awful. I would rather have us committed to Lissar as 4th choice centre back. If we're going to bring in Casey on loan and he's a higher quality player than Lissar at the moment, then I would rather him have been 4th choice rather than Santos, for example. Ben?
5.
Okay.
I think what we're neglecting, not the 5's a great score or anything, what we're neglecting is obviously he was free and it was made clear he's been brought in as backup. If Burgess is free, injury free, for 46 games, he'll play 46 games. No doubt about that. If you look at our team graphic now, our 1st choice and 2nd choice players, we got a squad of 24, 2 per position and 4 up front if you're including Wales. We've got for likes in every position, and Santos is that for Burgess. He's left-footed. Left-footed centre-backs usually come at a premium, and I'm not saying Santos is somebody who I'd like to see on the pitch playing and that's relying upon. But left-footed centre-backs do usually come at a premium, so to pick one up on a free who's happy and knows his role to come in and not expect first-team football, I do think 3 out of 10 is a bit harsh. Injuries, yeah, big
No,
issue.
that's fair enough. I didn't consider some of those things, to be fair.
Yeah, he's come straight in and got injured. Not ideal, because the number one thing we were concerned about was injuries. But also the fact he's coming in with a bit of a leadership role, not that we can really see in the inside of a dressing room, but the fact, like you say, he was a captain at Bolton. There's a lot of new players coming in at once, a lot of which are young because we're signing people to be assets. It is important to have people like Burgess and Santos who have that experience and leadership qualities, especially because, as we mentioned, Burgess coming in, he's been captain already. You've seen Franco, who's like 24, with the captain's armband when Cabango's not been on at times as well. So having those sort of characters in the squad, especially now that Norton's gone, Allen's gone, Darling a little bit gone as well. I think for what he is, he'll be cheap. I think 5 is fair, even if we don't expect him to play too much. Only a 2-year deal, also. So
yeah, fair enough. Like I do think those things are fair points. I probably value in the lack of youth things bothered me, and I probably be harsh on him as a result of that.
I do think probably in hindsight, the fact that he's got injured and he hasn't made the pitch is probably skewing us a bit.
It's probably skewing my thing, and we'll reflect on it come the end of the year. If he ends up being out for the season,
yeah.
Or maybe he comes in and saves the day when someone gets injured and it goes the other way. So we'll have to wait and see.
For what it's worth, like there is another centre back we haven't talked about yet who is clearly third choice ahead of him, regardless of whether he's right footed or left footed. But still, we'll get to that later. Okay,
next one. It's me first, isn't it? I mean, I just did we need to sign him? I'm going 3 again. I just don't know if it was. I haven't got anything to say. I don't really know. I don't think we're ever going to see him on the bench. Well, I lied. He's already been on the bench.
In the
League Cup. But I just don't understand. Like, we've got so many keepers in the youth system. We had. Surely one of them's good enough for third choice. I just don't get it, personally. But there we go. That's just... I got nothing to say.
Yeah, I don't get it. Well, I think... Oh, go on, Benny.
I was going to say, if you look at his track record, the clubs he's played for, you probably couldn't believe it when he got the call, could he?
Yeah, you can't blame him. I'm sure he's a solid quality keeper. I just
not to sound harsh, but like you say, in terms of the keepers you're on about, though, which ones do you mean? The youth ones?
I just mean
have gone, haven't they?
Yeah, some of what I mean is right, and I know they might have gone, but why have they gone? So, how have we not got someone in our system that's good enough to be a third choice goalkeeper? Bearing in mind, when was the last time our third choice goalkeeper actually played?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't happen very often, but
so
we'd be the unlucky club it does happen to, wouldn't we?
He's probably on pittance, isn't he? He's probably on pittance, and he knows what his role is, like you said, for some of the other signings. But it's kind of similar to what I was just saying about Santos. Surely that third choice goalkeeper is the opportunity for one of them to step up.
I mean, what's a bit funny? I've gone on the Swans website. He's not even listed as a player. I'm not sure he has.
Yeah, when he got announced, he didn't have a picture with a shirt or nothing, and there still isn't one.
And
he's the only signing this season that hasn't had that.
Oishe, or whatever you say his name, Samuel Smith is on there, and he's coming on deadline day. So
he's probably signed by the club, but living at home somewhere, ready for a phone call. Right, we need to do this weekend. We've got a cup game. I'm joking, obviously, but I just don't understand. I do understand it. I just don't know if it was necessary, and I would rather we got meant to have a good goalkeeping coach. Yeah, so wasn't his son involved as well?
Yeah, Kit. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
I just think surely one of the youth keepers, who is the first choice keeper for the under-21s?
I think Margetson's gone out on loan. I need to check that though.
But can he stay and be third choice? That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, not as you just said though. The third choice keeper hasn't been relied upon. And he's at Connor's key. Kit Margotson.
Is he playing now?
Yeah, he is. It's good for him.
Fair enough.
And that's the thing. He's 19. You can't just sit in the reserves.
What did we have before? Webb was one.
He's gone, isn't he?
What?
Let's have a look. I'm going to look out of interest a second. Who is actually playing for?
Did you get my point?
I do get your point.
Yeah.
But you can't expect a youth keeper to sit around.
Why did we get rid of McLaughlin then?
Did he want to stay? We don't know these things, do we?
The goalkeeping market is really weird, though, isn't it? Because you always see these, Freddie Woodman went to Liverpool, didn't he? Freddie Woodman went to Liverpool, didn't he, and stuff like that. I remember when Man United signed Lee Grant from Sheffield Wednesday. It's just the goalkeeper market's baffling, and because he's English, I don't know the rules, so I'm just like speculating. We signed a lot of foreign players.
You
Particularly
reckon
in
he's
this
maybe
window.
part of the quota?
Well, maybe, because I think that's what a lot of teams do these days, isn't it? They sign like Scott Carson went to Man City and sat as like fourth choice for years, didn't he? I think he might still be
He's
there.
basically coaching when he from.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that's what we're doing with this, or they signed him thinking that Fisher might go out on loan, and he hasn't.
Yeah, there were rumours of that one there.
So I don't know. Maybe it was done because this happened quite early in the window, if I remember right, didn't it? Because I'd forgotten about it, to be honest. When you flashed it
Yeah,
on
I
the
think the
screen, I was
signings I
thinking,
put on you are basically in order. So
yeah. So I don't know. I'm just speculating. Someone might know the rules better than
what's
me.
your
but I
score
thought
then while you're on?
maybe it's just quarter. I did. Yeah, I could go 3 as well. You know, I didn't think I'd go
I'll go-
lower than my 4, but I forgot about this.
I'll go 3 as well, for the reason we just said. One thing just to note, which I wasn't aware of. The keeper who most recently played for the Swans under 21's name is Tom Wright, 16.
Oh wow.
16 years old.
Wow.
Fair enough. Maybe that's why
That's
then.
great.
And okay, so he is 17 in.
But
a
this
week
is
and a
why
half,
none
but
of our
I still
youth keepers
expect-
are breaking through. This is why. Because, like,
I-
I know you're saying the youth keepers need to go out and play. How do they ever get into the first team when there's 3 of them ahead of them?
There's that. I was also just flagging that I know nothing about this guy other than his age. I'm just saying that's
No,
something to
I
keep
know.
an eye on. That's all.
It's just a rant for like years. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is why none of our youth keepers ever get anywhere because they've got 3
Bender.
keepers ahead of them. Yeah, but like,
It's rare.
okay, he was the one, and then he didn't even like last. He got injured and he got shipped off because Fisher was
that's Russell Martin's fault in it, but we
It's,
won't get into
Russell
that.
Martin's
it's-
his
it's
first
rare
choice
though,
for
isn't
Millwall. Now, isn't he?
Millwall. Yeah.
It's rare though, and I don't know how. Like when was the last time we had a youth keeper? Up
Probably
to the
was
system?
Bender.
Bender, yeah.
Probably Bender. Yeah, yeah.
And then Di Cornell probably.
Tyquel, yeah, that's a good point. He's still
And he's
talking about
doing
the
rounds in the EFL, and he's so like,
yeah.
but that's it, isn't it? Yeah, whatever. Rant over.
I wouldn't be surprised if
it
this
is-
was a quarter one.
It is the most
Yeah, maybe.
difficult position to have a youth player break through in, though, isn't it? Like centre back, you can come in off the bench. You don't sub on your keeper.
No, exactly.
No.
You've just got to be better than an experienced 30-odd-year-old man who's done this for years, and also keepers can go till they're 40.
And how
You know
do you
what I
get
mean?
to that experience level, though?
You go out on loan to Konski Nomads.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, moving on.
This is going to
Malick
be an interesting one.
Yalcouy. Whose go is it to go first? Lee, you know? Or Ben?
I think
I
it
don't
may
know.
be me.
Okay.
7 though.
Centre midfield, 19 Ivory Coast player. He's not been capped to the first team, but he has been capped to the under 23s from Brighton on loan, of course. And you said 7.
I said 7 purely because, right, I think if we had done this blind and done it before we'd seen them play, I'd have been going like 9 here. But he's one for me who's coming with tons of hype, and I'm sure he'll get better. I think the qualities are there. He's just he doesn't look like he knows what he's doing as well as like the rest of his midfielders. He's picking the ball quite knowing who he's meant to be looking to, when to pass, when to get rid. It seems like because the clubs he's played for, he's been at Brighton. I don't know what Sturm Graz were like when he was there, but it just looks like he's been coached to never kick it long, or you've always got to maintain possession. And it's actually caused us problems on multiple occasions because he's tried dribbling out of tight space with like 3 different people pressing him in close quarters. And I think he just needs to be coached to like learn that it is okay sometimes just to sort of pump it down the line or play it back to the keeper early and let them do it with open space in front of them. I think he's had plenty of comparisons to Kante because of like his game before coming in. And he does just look like he doesn't quite know like when to go in and when to not as well. And it's going to come with experience. He's only 19. So that's why I'm going 7, because he is being kept up a team right now, which seems insane to say because he's come in with like all the Brighton fans like not understanding how we've got him. So I do hope this is one that by the end of the season, he's like adapted, he's come to life, and I could be going 9 or 10 because he does have that potential. It's not going to be a bad signing, no chance, but I can't really go higher than 7 based off what I've seen of him in game so far.
Lee?
Yeah, I'm going 7 as well. I'm quite glad you said that because I thought it was just me because I like from what again I didn't know a lot about him, but from what I read and what I heard, I thought this was going to be like, you know, similar to what like Watford had with Aaron Kunde, like just a young superstar. That's what I had in my head that was coming in, and he's not been bad, like you said, in the first couple of games. But I've not been like overly excited by what I've seen so far. So I think there is probably room for improvement. And like you said, I think with the signings that we've made now, I struggle to see him starting. He was the obvious choice to miss out on Saturday for Stamenic to come in. So yeah, let's just see if it gets better.
I probably agree, to be honest. I think I can't add much to what you've already said, other than I think he has shown that he's only 19, really, when he's been on the bench. I think that's just shown. You can see there's potential there. But I think when you listen to all the hype and then you watch him play, I think you're like, oh yeah, you could tell he's 19, sort of thing. That's why he's getting sent out on loan.
I think that's probably it. I think it's the hype, isn't it? That's probably dented our score a bit. And I think we're probably being a bit harsh.
I don't know if dented is. I don't think 7's a bad score. You've got to remember.
No, it's not a bad score. It's not a bad score. But I just think it's testament as well to how quality our midfield is now, that we're not saying he's bad at all. Like, he's obviously a great player and he probably will be great throughout this season as well. But he's kind of like pushed down a little bit with the quality of the rest of the midfield at the minute. So I think it's just testament to how good that competition is.
Yeah, I nearly was going to give him a 6, but I decided to go for 7. So. Okay, Lee, you're going first on this one. So Melker Widell, technically signed in January, loaned back to his former club, and we really only got to see him now, so we're going to include him on this list. He's down as centre midfielder. I thought when he was coming in, he was going to be more of a cam, but to be fair, what we've seen, I'm going to keep him as centre midfield because that seems to be where he is playing, maybe even a bit more advanced, but still in that role. 23, Sweden. He's an international. He's played he's had one cap. I think he was off the bench. From where did we get him from? Aalborg, which what do you say is in Denmark?
Yeah,
Denmark. Yeah.
Undisclosed again. Around 3.3, we believe, and the reason that we got him potentially was because we allowed him to be loaned back.
It was one of those ones. There was Kiwa clubs, remember, we were the only ones willing to loan him back to them. Yeah. I think if we'd left it till the summer, we just would have got priced out probably. So that's why it happened. If you remember, it feels like a distant memory now. We were in a relegation battle. We just lost to Coventry. Why we spent a week trying to get him, and then we had that deadline day where Jacob Wright turned up, didn't sign, left. Yeah, funny how
we were saying that he might. I remember we were saying he might play in League One.
Yeah, which to be fair, doesn't exact. Well, go on. We'll go on to ratings, but yeah.
I think he would have played in League One.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I don't think he would have necessarily gone straight away.
It is you to go first, I think. Or Lee, sorry.
Yeah, me. I don't know. I hope you don't think I'm being harsh here, but I'm going 6 because I think there's probably a lot of room for improvement here. And again, it might just be my expectation because, like you said, the fact that we only had him because we were willing to loan him back and there were other clubs knocking at the door. In my head, I had this he'd been capped for Sweden and everything. In my head, I had this, right, he's going to come in, he's going to go into like the 10 position, even though we're not obviously using that now in hindsight. But I thought he was going to go in there and just be this massive creative spark that we were missing, and kind of just not really seen any of that yet. I think physically, like we said earlier, I think we touched on it earlier, that he's probably quite a way off from playing championship football, I think, physically. But I think there is a player there. I think you can see that there's quality there. I think technically he looks like a great player. But I think he probably needs at least a season to kind of get up to speed with the championship. But so that's why I'm putting it as a 6, because I think there could be room for improvement there. So I leave it open to him for him to kind of build that back up.
Torn between two numbers here. Right, I'm going to go 5, right? And I don't want to seem harsh on him because I actually think the same things as you. I think he's going to come really good. I'm just looking at the package altogether and the timing. So like January, I think it was a risk to focus on this in January. And now we've seen he's still more of a work in progress than I think a lot of us maybe thought, which is fine. I haven't got an issue with it now. It would have been an issue if we got relegated, for example, which at the time that he was technically signed, it probably wasn't the priority. I think that's the big issue here. And the fee that was spent on him then, you could argue would have been better used elsewhere had the season not ended the way it did. And yeah, he's come in now, and obviously he's not making the team even first choice at the moment, which is fine. He's going to obviously have a bit more time to settle in the league and stuff. But 3 million euros is a bit of a fee for someone that's perhaps work in progress based on what we were spending before this summer. Anyway, I think had we not spent a bit more on a few more players this summer, we would have been looking at that 3.3 a little bit more negatively than perhaps we are now. So I'm going 5 down the middle because I think it can. I think if we get to the end of the season and he's still in the same boat coming off the bench and we're still looking for a bit more, we'll be a bit disappointed, I think. So we'll see which way it goes. Ben?
I'll go 7, which is between 6 and 7. Maybe a bit of a 6.5, but we haven't done decimals, so I'll keep it to whole numbers. Yeah, as I mentioned, he looks off it physically. I'm not denying that, but I do just have to trust, like, I'm a bit of a football Twitter nerd at times, like some of the people I follow, and you see those like graphs, and there's people who like use the data and they plot it and they show like what percentile they are for pass accuracy and progressive passes and shot accuracy and all this final third passes, and for everything creative, passing, dribbling, all that, he's just green, like bright green on everything. He's so like performs so well on all of like the important things that you should need to be a creative football player. I do think he's going to need time to adapt. I also think, as we've said, we're so stacked in midfield. He's been given the luxury of having that time, whereas most of the time we signed someone for 3 mil and we'd be losing our centres, wouldn't we? Like Jerry Aitken, we wanted him to bag 20 goals straight away, and as soon as it started turning downhill and he was relied upon, it didn't last very long for him. He's going to have a lot of games off the bench. He is versatile also. Even if I don't like him on left wing, he can seem to play there. I do genuinely believe he'll come good. Like, he is very well regarded. There's a reason that so many clubs would have wanted him.
There's a reason he's been capped as well.
Yeah, he is a Swedish international, albeit only for 15 minutes so far. And I don't think the fee's excessive for somebody who was 23, who got him on a 4-year deal. Could even be 4-year plus an additional year. I can't quite remember. So I do think he's going to come good. I do think he will be an asset. I don't know if we'll see it until maybe after Christmas, don't get me wrong. But I'm going to put 7 because I think that's going to be one which we could easily be saying 8 to 9 at the end of the year, and saying 5 will make us look like we doubted him.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely a player.
The numbers are there with the context of us saying what we're saying, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
I think he's definitely a player there. I think he can improve. I think like he's one that, like we said, he could very realistically bump that score up. I think that's why we've left it kind of open and wait for him to.
Yeah, I was nearly going to put 6. I've only gone straight down the middle because I just indifferent, I guess. 5 is in the middle, and it's not good, it's not bad. It's just like it's got to take time to come good. And as I said, I'm just basing it more on the circumstances around his initial signing, which I think, had we got relegated, would we still be giving it a 7?
I don't know. Leah, you listening to this backtracking already? I think he already
regrets.
I'm not backtracking.
5. I keep the 5 there. And if it's a 10 by the end of the year, then good. Glad. That's what this is for, isn't it? Like this ranking is before we've seen a lot of him, and if he comes to be best midfielder in Championship by the end, then you're not going to be able to.
It's like the bin truck when it's like vehicle reversing.
No, I'm quite happy with my score. Onto this one, and this is partly why, again, scoring other people a certain way, because I don't want it to take away from the ones I think that come in and hit the ground running.
I'm laughing just because the picture looks like he's dying to get a yellow card as well.
It's probably him. He probably is getting one. So Marko Stamenic. I always get the names wrong. Centre midfielder, probably more defensively minded. 23 years old, from New Zealand. 31 caps, which I was surprised actually considering his age. Signed from Nottingham Forest, though he didn't really make much of an impact there. He was only signed last summer and he went out on loan. Undisclosed fee again. What was it, like 3 million? 4 million?
We think it's about 2.5 to 3. It hasn't really been well reported so I don't know.
Transfermarkt didn't have any information on this one. I'm going 9 again. I don't really want to give out any 10s, to be honest, this time of year. I'll give out 10s when they earn it. at the end. But if I was going to give a 10, I probably would give it to him. I just think, as I said earlier on in the video, he's plugged a hole that we probably didn't realise was a hole that needed to be plugged by a certain mould of player until now he's on the pitch. I'm not saying he's as good level as Rodri or like someone like, I think somebody compared him to Sergio Busquets the other day, but he's like that in the Championship, like copy and paste into this league for this level. And I just think he's had an instant impact. He just looks a figure on the pitch. Been really impressed with what he's done, and it just fills you a bit more confidence when it comes to protecting the back line, I guess, and just having a bit more organisation in the middle, like from the defensive part. Yeah, I mean, just we've kind of already waxed lyrical about him earlier in the video, so I think just go back to that if you want to hear all the good stuff about him. The fee obviously doesn't seem that great, and the age is decent there as well. And I think he's a 4-year deal, was he?
Yeah,
4-year deal. So
could even be 5-year.
Again, he's one that I would be worried about next summer if this continues. So yeah. Who's go next? Ben's typing away. Lee,
I'll go. I'm going 9 as well. If you'd asked me before, I mean, granted, he's only played like what, game and 30 minutes, but in that game and 30 minutes, we've just seen what he's all about. He's just been absolutely brilliant. If you'd asked me before that, I'd probably be like 6 or 7 because I didn't know a lot about him and I didn't really know what he was going to bring. But my God, he was exactly what we were like missing in that midfield, and he's just been brilliant. Like 23 years old, 4 or 5 year deal, whatever it was. Played Champions League football. His like career like arc is weird because Olympiacos, Forest, Copenhagen, Red Star, and now into the Championship. So he can clearly play at a high level, and you can tell like he's kind of cut above the rest of the minute. So let's see how it carries on.
Yeah, we covered him earlier in the video. Loads. 9 for me again. Just checked is a 4-year deal plus an additional year. It can be a 5-year deal if we need.
At least we get a good fee for him if it's early.
Well, it's just like an unbelievable bit of business by us.
Don't get me wrong. I think he can be reckless. I think that's something.
Yeah.
You want to bite in midfield, but you do need to be careful. Particularly Franco's similar, isn't he? I think, like you say, it's a sort of mold we didn't necessarily know we needed too badly. It is something that I was eyeing up as wanting, but it is quite a rare mold as well. Somebody who has aerial ability, physical presence, but is also comfortable on the ball and in driving the ball. He's like a complete midfielder in terms of everything you'd want from number 6, really.
Yeah.
And the fact, like you say, he's keeping people like Widell and Yalcouy out of the team now, who, when they both signed, were viewed in my head at least as people that needed to be part of our starting 11. So it's one of those ones. We were linked to him on loan for a little while. It just didn't look like it was going to be possible. Somehow a permanent deal did become possible. Maybe Forest looking for as the summer went on, because I don't think this shows the gap. We're playing Forest in a couple of weeks. It shows the gap to the Premier League on that end of the table, because I don't think he'd have been part of Forest's like registered squad. I don't think O'Brien would have been either. And they both come down and they've taken the Championship, with ease straight away. So it does show the gap that we're dealing with, as good as this summer has been. Like, long term, it takes so much to get up to that next level, but he's a step in the right direction for me. Because he should be an ever-present, shouldn't he?
Yeah. By all accounts, it was him or O'Brien. So I think when O'Brien didn't come, that's probably what freed up the...
You say that, but it was O'Brien or Galbraith for me. I think they
Galbraith,
were the same sort of mould. Stamenic is a very different player to O'Brien. Both come from the same club.
No, but I can't remember where I read it, because this was like, remember when Galbraith was already signed when it went nuts online that we were getting O'Brien as well.
Yeah,
and everyone we were all half convinced that it was happening, and then it didn't. But that's where this. And I can't remember where it was now, so I can't quote the exact source, but apparently it was a case of one or the other. And then we ended up going this direction. But I think in terms of what both players offer, this probably gives us a better balance with our midfield in terms of different options than if we had brought in O'Brien. Do you think that's fair to say?
Well, you wouldn't sub him out for O'Brien, would you? Because then we'd have O'Brien, Galbraith, Yalcouy, Franco. Like there'd be too many similarities there.
Yeah, I think you might think I'm wrong, but I think the comparison is Fulton, because I think
definitely
when the other end of his career, isn't he?
Yeah, I think Sheehan's plan always was. I know everyone used to moan when Fulton was on the team sheet. But you can see, like when we played away from home, like he started against Middlesbrough. Is that when we go away from home? Maybe you need someone like that instead of having maybe the three kind of smaller midfielders who are a bit more technical. You need to have that bit of meat in midfield, if you like. And that's why Fulton normally started away from home. But I think this is probably like a Mehdi Raid. I know he's obviously better than Fulton, I'd have to say that. But he's probably a bit of a I can't even speak, ready-made replacement.
Yeah, of course. Fulton is like 30 now, mind.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. I think it's kind of the next level now, isn't it? Like
yeah,
Fulton's
you've got to regenerate.
and then we regenerate. And I think it's a great bit of business.
Fulton will step in when he needs to be subbed or when he's injured, I guess. So,
because you look at our depth chart, right? Like obviously you got Franco and Yalcouy who are like similar profiles. You got Galbraith, and then probably the closest I'd say is Widell, who are similar profiles. Yeah. Stamenic and Fulton are then the like for like. And I had the same opinion as you. I think last pod, funnily enough, Leah's like every single game I'd expect Stamenic to be starting away from home. Yeah, not gonna lie, after seeing him play against Wednesday, I do just think you need to start him every game, which seems crazy because that then means two of Galbraith, Widell, Franco, and Yalcouy are on the bench every week. Unless
but I think this is where
at wide or something. But it
the argument of Galbraith right back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's nice options to have. So, you know, out of those five names, Stamenic, Galbraith, Franco, Widell, Yalcouy, you're going to have injuries over the season. You could have Yalcouy getting loaned up, returned to Brighton, like recalled for lack of game time or doing too well. Yeah, either for doing too well or not playing enough. That's the thing with loans. It's hard to hit that sweet spot with them in it. So yeah, but for me, Stamenic, I don't see how you can't play him at least for the foreseeable till I see something different because he does just look class.
Yeah.
Kaelan Casey then, centre back, 20 years old from England, no caps but 8 to the under-20 England team from West Ham on loan. Ben, you can kick us off with this one.
7, and I'd say that's a pleasantly surprised 7 because normally we have bad luck with lonely centre backs, don't we? In recent history, we have anyway. Finley Burns, was it Reece Williams? Was that his name?
Yeah.
Hannes Delcroix, who was a little bit better than the other two I just mentioned, but none of them had come in and exactly, you know, made me want to go, oh, I want them back. Obviously, Williams and Burns in particular struggled pace-wise, but Casey, albeit he hasn't been, you know, like, oh my god, this guy's insane. He's like a Marko, is he? He's come in, very little senior football I know of, if any, so far. And he's taken in his stride. Obviously, played more minutes in the cup game. I believe he played one league game. Was it against Burgess because of injuries? Did Cabango play? Did he come off? Did he come on?
He came off like 60, 70 minutes. Cabango, didn't he? Cramp.
Yeah, so he had a half hour. And he's looked fine, and he's looked good on the ball. He hasn't looked bad in defensive duels, whereas aerial duels or 1v1 defensive situations. Clearly third choice. I think he's going to be third choice ahead of Santos, and I also think he's not going to displace Cabango or Burgess either. So it will depend on fitness and injuries and congestion of fixtures, how often we see him. But put it this way, if like someone has a suspension or injury and I see his name on the team sheet, I'm not going to be worried. I think he's fine for what we need.
Yeah.
Lee?
Yeah, I'll go 6. I think the only thing is just because it's a loan. I think there's a talent there, isn't there? I think because he's only 20, playing like that centre half. I think we're just not going to see the the benefits of it in a few years' time. That's the only thing. It's a bit gutting that it's a loan, but I don't. Do you think? I don't know. Again, speculation. Do you think this only happened because Santos got injured?
No.
Well, yeah, and Lissa was injured for a brief period. So we had, what's his name? Alpha Parker playing in pre-season, didn't we, against Laurie?
I thought because this happened quite quick, didn't it? Because Santos got injured and then he came in like the week of the Middlesbrough game, didn't he? Because Cabango was injured as well, wasn't he?
It seems crazy though. The suggestion was that we were only going to have 3 centre backs for the season. That's what like the in-knows are all saying. And it was the same with Timon. I know we haven't got to that signing for his backup yet, but it seemed like we were only going to have 1 left back and 3 centre backs. But that did all just come out of nowhere then, the replacements.
I feel like there must have been some money that turned up late in the window from somewhere.
I think so as well. And
because like you're saying about Stamenic being all of a sudden he wasn't an option and then he was, all of a sudden we could get him. Like something's changed. Surely something's changed.
I think it's commercial deals further down the line that we don't know about yet. Because like net spend is one thing I really haven't said about yet. But we have the second largest net spend in the championship this summer. So obviously that doesn't mean we spent the second highest amount of money. There's plenty of teams who spent more.
We
By
didn't
plenty,
sell
we mean about
anyone, did we?
6. But we only made £2.9 million each from sales. We didn't have a big sale again. I do feel like we're overdue a big sale now, but we spent about £15 million. So only Wrexham have a larger net spend than us, and they spent like 34 million and didn't sell anyone. But still, it shows how much we pushed the boat out. Keep in mind we have an operating loss of something around £15 million a season, and that can, I think it was around that a year or two ago, and I think that might have even included the Perot sale.
Yeah, so I think the cycle works in 3-year things, doesn't it? So maybe the deadline passed for that 3-year cycle for whatever the last.
It's rolling. It's a rolling 3-year period.
Yeah, rolling. But what I mean is whenever they judge it for the year.
So 2 years ago we didn't spend much.
Yeah. So maybe we got more.
I know what you're trying to say, but then also I think
by the end of next year,
the last.
But they could be planning to sell some of a big fee out of all of these next summer, like early in the summer before the cut-off. Does that make sense?
We won't function like that though. They're too switched on. You can't plan to sell somebody because then you have no leverage in the sale. I mean, like the only way I can see it is if we've, you've got Snoop Dogg, you've got Modric and all them. For me, they've talked about we have some commercial opportunities lined up. They probably pre-agreed something and haven't told anyone about it. And it could be mega, not like Wrexham levels, but above normal championship level in terms of commercial income. And that could be what's offsetting it. It'll be within a 3-year period.
We've seen Sheehan wears the Death Row Records hoodie a lot now, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the owners had it on the other day as well outside the railway, and they went in there and chucked like a grand behind the bar. Did you see that?
Yeah, but there's no.
I didn't know they had the Death Row Records.
Yeah, they had the hoodies on.
They've got them, but it's not official thing, is it?
Yeah, how are they just walking around with them?
Teasing, isn't it? They know what they're doing.
They know what they do, but that'd be a hefty commercial deal, wouldn't it?
I think it's all quite clever, to be honest.
But by commercial deals, I don't so much mean like merchandise, because that's a bit hard to measure in terms of income. But like, I mean guaranteed like sponsorships and whatever.
Yeah, well, maybe Death Row will sponsor
or maybe the initial sales of the new blue kit were just absolutely ridiculous because everyone loved it.
Yeah, I've ever seen half the championships ranking our kits as like the best kits ever.
That blue kit is something special, man. I do like that blue kit. It's an all-timer.
I still haven't got it yet, but I will have it at some point.
Yeah, I will.
I'm going to get that one and the purple one. I like them both.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, though, people might have seen that there's like a graphic going around about net spend, and we're really low in it, but I don't think that's accurate. I think that's based on the transfer marked available fees, which they get updated when stuff comes apparent. Yeah, a lot of them are undisclosed. There's a lot of question marks on that site.
Stamenic should be nothing.
Idah's on there for nothing. Yeah, exactly. So that's why it looks like we're so good. But yeah, I think Ben's one is more accurate there.
So. I do think as well, we're saying like we've pushed the boat out this season. I think we were getting to that point where we really needed it, because I think our squad had kind of depleted quite a lot.
Yeah, remember that conversation we had last season, Lee, about we don't have any players left.
Yeah, we had.
Do you think we're going up the other end of that we've hit the bottom and now we're going up the other end?
Yeah, because I remember saying like after every transfer window, I was really worried about like the depth in the squad was always an issue, really worrying, and like the quality as well had proper dipped off because we'd sold a lot. I think like when we finished last season, we said that it was probably only Franco that was an asset to sell, and now like this is a completely different conversation because we needed to sign. We needed a kind of squad overhaul, and we've just done that and more.
I think that conversation happened after January. It was a shambles, but I want to just credit the new ownership. At the time, we hadn't seen enough of them to. I guess the conversation came about because he was saying that's more the same, and we couldn't argue against that at the time. I think they've since shown by sacking Coleman and this summer that it is not more the same, and I think they deserve a lot of credit. And the signing of Montague, which I probably should have included on this list, really, because he's been as important, I think, as any of these players. Anyway, I'm going for 7 for Casey. I think it's a good use of the loan market. I think we've done so much spending this summer in terms of bringing in players. Can't be a bit too greedy, and he fills a gap in a good. We've talked about using the loan market too much and we're relying on it in the past. I think we've got a good balance this year, and this is a good use
Yeah.
of it. Where maybe we can fix the third choice centre back next year in a permanent way, but it's in a good way this year of using the loan market, and he's shown already he's capable. And I agree with what Ben said. Won't have any issue with him stepping in to the first team. Lee, Adam, Idah, then striker 24 from Ireland, 32 caps for the national team from Celtic, undisclosed 6 million, I think, maybe euros again.
Right.
Correct
Yeah.
there if it's wrong,
Pounds.
but
Rise to
few
7
fees,
million pounds.
which is less than what Celtic signed him for. Just
Was it?
putting that out
How much
there.
is Celtic signed for?
9, I think.
9.5.
Was it 9? Was it?
So Lee,
I think it's 9.5 million euro. Yeah.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
there's not much left after this. We're nearly done, but kick us off with this one, Lee.
Yeah, I'm going to go 6 at the moment, just because I'm really not sure. And I think if we're to believe the fee, I think it's quite hefty. And I don't know. I think he was at Norwich before, wasn't he? And didn't kind of rip up trees. But
he was at Norwich when Pookie was starting every game and scoring.
Yeah, I know it is unfair, but I don't know. I don't know. It's just we spent 7 million, and I think maybe it's come at a time where like Vopotnik has played really well as well. So I kind of thought maybe we didn't need to spend that much on a striker. But again, it could come to the end of the season. He could have bagged like 20 goals, and I could be talking absolute rubbish. But for now, I'm just really not sure, because it'd just be interesting to see who's going to start now going forward.
I think it would be Vopotnik until Idah shows he should start.
But then because of his price tag,
he'll probably start having howlers. He's like, we got to remember he had last season, and this is the best form he's shown since he's been here. So
yeah. I'm just leaving it open for improvement. So I hope I'll eat my words at the end of the season.
Okay, I go in 7. I think he's had a lot of criticism on social platforms, and I just think a lot of people, as much as people, we just talked about the hype around some of the players we signed, like Yalcouy, based on what fans are saying, but he's a youngster at a team who's excited about him. Celtic fans have given the big negative feedback on online, and I think a lot of Swans fans have bought into that. Don't think a lot of them would have seen much of him. He scored 20 goals last season in all competitions, right? So if he probably would have played he had European games there, yeah. And yeah, okay, it's in Celtic team in whatever, but they don't rate him, and he still scored 20 goals for them. He wasn't badly rated when he was at Norwich, but he was still young and breaking through then. Celtic decided to pay £9 million for him. I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong, to be honest. And if he can get anywhere near double figures, 15 goals, I think maybe that would be a really good return. And you say about the price, it is high. I think it's high for what we've been used to. But if you look across the championship this season for strikers that have been brought in, it's actually one of the lower ones. So they're really hard to come by. So like, you don't know who's going to come and actually bag the goals. Everyone is going to be a risk, especially at the money they've all been signed for. But unfortunately, these days, strikers that have shown some sniff of scoring, they cost. So we've had, we saw, how much did we sell Perot for?
12,
15, 12.
11 rising to 15, which most of that's probably been hit now because they went up, didn't they? So
yeah. So just, I think he's gonna. I just sick of. To be fair, when he signed, a lot of fans were like, "Oh, do you know what? I'm going to back him," and I hope that is the case. Back him when he's on the pitch. I just think let's see what he does. Sometimes players move to a club and it just works. So let's hope that he's one for us.
Oh yeah, I definitely back him. My 6 wasn't based on like.
No, I'm not saying you. Just
I know. I just wanted.
It's a fair point to raise because if you go online, that's all you see.
Oh yeah, I hope he does well. I hope he does really well. Like I said, I hope my 6 looks ridiculous at the end of the season because, like you said, some players just go to different teams and it just works different formulas. But we haven't had apart from Perot, since Perot, we haven't had like a proper bagsman, have we? So it'd be nice to have like a proper focal point striker.
And the Richard Coney thing as well, which we were linked with.
That's annoying people, doesn't it?
But like he would have come.
He went for 5 mil.
Yeah, that is it is annoying. But he would have come up from League One, and where was he before that? Non-league. So
yeah, there is.
You could argue that's a bigger risk. You could argue that's a bigger risk. So
there is backstory to the Coney thing, which I didn't realise. The reason he was in the 8th tier before Wickham picked him up is because he couldn't get a works visa. It's like if he could get a visa, he would have been straight in the EFL, obviously. The other thing with Coney is obviously he had a year in his deal, and from a business perspective, it's clear we've got intelligent football people running the club now. You don't want to be seen paying £5 million for a League One striker of 1 year in his deal who's only got 1 season of experience, because that's how you become like Man United and Wrexham and get taxed every time you go to try and sign a player because people know that you'll overpay, which seems strange to say. On paper it looks like overpaid Idah, but then they said they paid £9 million from a year off the back of a loan away. He was scoring a goal every 2 games for them. So if it's moving on to my score, I'm actually going 8. I think it's the first 8 we've been given. And don't get me wrong, I think this is one you could go as low as like 5 on this. I think it's probably the most open of a discussion.
Yeah.
You look at the system we got, right? Every single striker that we've played, Vipotnik, Kuperovic, Yates, probably a couple others I'm forgetting. We've had so many. None of them have worked, have they? Permanently, for being honest. They've all had little spells, most of them, apart from Kuperovic. But they always get lost in the game. Nothing ever seems to stick. None of them can get into like a consistent stride. I mean, our top scorer last year was it Cullen with 11? I think the season before it was Yates and Lowe, was it?
Yeah. With
a similar number. It's ever since Perot and Obafemi, nobody has like consistently scored goals for us. What Sheehan needs from a striker is he needs a blend of a physical presence and somebody who's got a little bit of pace about him and can press.
Yeah.
That's now evident because he loves Cullen for the way he presses. Vipotnik's useful for the way he holds the ball up. But both of them have their issues. Vipotnik looks lost when we don't have the ball. Cullen looks lost when we do have the ball because they both have like weaknesses. Idah, he's 6'3". He's not exceptional like in the air. He's not going to be as good as Vipotnik like that. He's not going to be as good in the press as Cullen. But he has both sets of good qualities, and the weaknesses are right. He's not going to be like clinical like Perot was. But with the players we've got in midfield and wingers now, honestly, give him half the chances that I think most strikers get, and he'll be okay. You know what I mean? I think we will, as the season goes on, click a bit more. It's overpaying a little bit, but I'd be surprised if you don't get, like, easily you'll be top scorer. I think he's better than Cullen Vipotnik. And I'd be surprised if he isn't, like, surpassing what Cullen did last year. I think 15 to 20. He's not going to be like a 25-goal striker. I think around the 16, 17 mark, that's achievable. I really do think that's achievable for him because I think he'll play every game.
And I think if he gets to that, then if we did sell him on, you wouldn't get less than what we paid. So
I think we got to.
This is where it's different. Like, it's a 5-year. Sorry, go on.
Oh no, I was just gonna say we've got to put faith in like the people at the club now, as always said, like Montague, for example. They've potentially signed him to fit the system, and he's gonna be the right fit, like you've said. So I think that could be quite exciting.
Yeah. No, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I think every striker's a risk.
Don't get me wrong, we're probably a little bit down the list of targets. I think
Sorry, Ben, you cut off a little bit there.
Oh, we lost him, but
we lost
him. I think it's the thing though. Like, I know we're never going to avoid it, but if if you go back when you didn't have like all the rumors and stuff on like social media and that, you would just like look at this and go, "Oh, we signed Adam Idah, great!" Like that was our signing. But because there were rumors that we were going to sign Coney, and then it fell through, it's like, oh, this looks like a second choice. But
sorry, Ben, you cut off then. Don't know if you're back. You were moving.
I was going to say, it isn't just Coney. We are down the list.
I think he's cutting off again. Okay, well, we'll move on to Manu. We'll get Ben's thoughts, what he's saying on Idah when he reestablishes a little bit of his connection there. But Samuel Smith, is it Ishi?
Yeah, I don't know. I see. Yeah.
Have I got him up on the screen? No, I haven't. There we are. Ishi Samuel Smith, so left back from Chelsea. Weird situation around that. 19-year-olds from England. Again, no caps to be played for the under-19s. Chelsea signed him on deadline day and then sent him on loan after he...
Yeah, I don't know what was going on there.
Bit of a mess with that one. It's all owners stuff dodgy. I don't know, weird. But regardless, we got him on loan. cover for Timon, and I'll start us off. Ben, you back, by the way, just that's what you...
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave my webcam off.
Yeah,
so
yeah, that's
it doesn't
fine.
buffer.
That's okay. We'll come back to what you were just saying in a minute. I go in 7. Just again, we haven't seen him play, so we can't talk about any of his qualities. The reason I go in 7 is because we've been desperate for cover in a left back position for too long, and we've got away with it, and they've finally addressed it. So that's literally the only reason I've gone 7, and it's on loan. So like, he's obviously not expecting to usurp Timon, but Timon can't do 90 minutes week in, week out. Surprised he's done so much as he's already done this season, to be honest, because last season he was puffing all the time after 60 minutes. And hopefully him being a valuable or viable option to come on for Timon will mean that when Timon is playing, we get the best of him because he's not being overplayed. So, yeah, I just think it needed to happen. That's why I'm going 7, because it just needed to happen. Lee?
Yeah, spot on. I'm going 7 as well, obviously, even without knowing what his abilities are. But like you said, I think it's more of a sign in that we needed to protect Timon a bit more. I think last year he played every game bar one just because he had a suspension, and he's played every game this season as well. And like what he's been asked to do, the way he bombs up and down, and can I just say how class he's been as well, Timon. Again, he's just been amazing, I think, start of the season. So the fact, like you said, if we're winning a game and he can come off like 70 minutes for once, because we've now never had that luxury for him to just be able to come off, and maybe, Samuel Smith can come in and finish the game 20 minutes, give Timon a rest. Or even if he's good enough, maybe there's a game that he can start. I don't know. But yeah, like you said, just desperately, like in the context of what the squad needed, we just needed cover at left back. So yeah, 7.
Ben?
Yeah, I'm going 7 as well. I think not only what you two have said, but also his profile seems to match Timon somewhat as well, which is quite difficult to get from loan players, especially when you're looking for people who, pardon me, are coming in from Premier League clubs. We had like Pert Harris last year, and he was decent, but didn't really look like our type of player. You think back to some of the players we've had defensively on loan. You're thinking Finn Stevens, Finley Burns, Reece Williams, Hannes Elcroix. As I said, that they're quite difficult to pick up. That lone defenders in particular look suitable for us. But he does seem like he has that same sort of profile coming from Chelsea, where he'll look comfortable for third as well, which it can only be good for us, I think. And also, I think that we've done so well in terms of getting a solid centre-back pairing. We've already got a solid keeper. We've got Stamenic there. I'm comfortable knowing that if he makes mistakes, which he will when he plays, he's young, he's inexperienced, I don't think they'll always be detrimental for us, which is it's got to help him in his game as well. Feel like, have a bit of freedom.
Okay. Did you want to say what you were saying about Idah just now?
Yeah, I think what I was trying to say was it looks a big fee, but then like it's not actually that much more than Inoussa potentially, which puts into perspective a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think that sort of profile is what we were going for. He's probably quite low down the list of like strikers we were trying to, recruit, because I think we were about to say William Gerbils, whatever you say his name. That was pretty much done from what it seems, and that would have been a signing which generated a lot of hype. He was signed for Monaco for 20 mil to replace Mbappe when he was like 16, for perspective. And then injuries have sort of curtailed his career a bit up till now. But then Paris FC, sort of the French Wrexham, as I've been calling them since, sort of came in and just overpaid for him and paid him stupid money to get him in. So that's how we ended up here with Idah. But I think it could be far worse. I really do. I think it's one of those ones where I'm not going to lie, like I'm still not necessarily sure we'll get top 6 this year. I think we may be close, but not quite get there, potentially, with or without Idah. So it's like, I could have justified them like waiting a year and getting someone next summer, but they've gone for it, to be fair to them. So I hope he ends up justifying the 8, which I gave him.
I think he'll be all right. Last one then. You can kick us off, Ben, if you want.
7 seems to be a sensational player. Is literally just look at his highlight reel for goals, and he seems to have scored the same goal about 6 different times from outside the box. Reminds me of Bale a little bit, the way he strikes a ball. Not trying to like hype him up too much. I do just think it's his injury record. It can be, I can see it being like a Gibbs White, where we fall in love with him after 4 games and we just don't see him for 5 months. Like, seems to have a recurring Achilles problem, unfortunately. I think he's going to be such a goal threat from out wide when he does play, which we haven't had in years. So I'm really excited to see that. But I'm putting 7 preemptively, expecting him to not play more than like maybe 1,500 minutes across the whole year. And I would just like to point out that is a hilarious image you put on, Luke. Well done.
Yeah, I like that.
I didn't make it, to be fair. I think it's from I mean, it's everywhere, isn't it, to be fair? But
Yeah.
they used it in the video, didn't they?
Yeah. It's funny because that like clip of him saying his name for Burnley was everywhere before we were even linked with him. And then when we were linked with him, I was like, oh, this is great. So this is brilliant.
Your thoughts on him, Lee?
Yeah, I'll go 8 only because I agree with what Ben said. I think like I hope he stays fit because I think if he stays fit, like he could be a huge. And this one for me just seemed like we're being really greedy. It didn't seem like another signing that we needed. I just thought, just what a signing to get again, just to add to the amazing signings we've already done. Just felt like we were being so greedy. Then we were like, yeah, we'll just add even more quality to the squad. And I think, like I said about competition for wing places, like last year, I think like Ronald was just guaranteed to start every game with no competition. But now you've got 4 wingers that could all start. So it's just, how do you keep them all happy for one, and the quality that we're going to get out of them. I think we've already seen like an improvement in Ronald's performances this year. Inousa's come in. I think like Eom's probably way down the pecking order now because I don't think he's had the best start of the season.
Well, it's 2 on the left and 2 on the right, isn't it?
I know, but I just think like that's the quality that we've stepped up, and that's why I'm giving it an 8 just in the context of the squad. That there's just so many options. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I think wingers is such an easy one to keep happy though as well. You know, because like
they'll swap on
whoever's on the bench, they'll probably play. They'll play every game, all 4 of them probably, won't they? For the most part, they'll be subbing it on and off all the time.
I know, but how class is that? That like those 4 wingers will play in a game,
and Ronald doesn't have to start every game.
Yeah.
Manuel Benson, right wing, is 28. He plays for Angola now. I think he's from Belgium, but he obviously qualifies for Angola recently. He's been getting international games for them, I think, since last year. Got him on loan from Burnley, of course. So I'm going to go 7 as well. I think same as what you've kind of both already touched on. I wasn't really expecting anyone to come in that position. I think there's rumours that we might be looking, like the perfect scenario was we got 3 and it was always left back, striker, right wing. I didn't think it was as urgent as perhaps left back for sure. Striker in terms of us needing someone more prolific, but probably could have got away with not signing someone. This one definitely didn't need to do it, as Lee said, but I hope that maybe he could be the sort of addition that makes the difference when it matters for us to have, to go that extra step this season potentially. So hopefully he can stay fit and show that worth that he showed when Burnley had such a good season before. So yeah. Anything else on anyone that we've discussed, lads?
Just that I think this could be the first January transfer window in I don't know how many years where we don't sign a single player.
Do you think?
Injuries or loan players getting recalled. What position could you justify recruiting a player in right now? We've got 2.
I don't know about recruiting. I wouldn't be surprised to lose 1 or 2 people, loans or something. Like Bobby Wales is one that immediately comes to mind, and then
I know. Obviously, we got to look. I'm if it all goes to plan and everybody stays fit, there's going to be players that are not playing at all. Like I think Wales is one that you said. I feel like Fulton maybe might not, but he'll probably stay anyway because just
he knows his role.
Yeah, he knows that he'll be like the kind of the new Norton type role when he's and he's going into that kind of position now, isn't he? But I could easily see a scenario where like Stamenic is undroppable and the other like Franco and Galbraith don't move anywhere, and Yalcouy is not getting enough game time, and Brighton recall him. Like I could see that being a scenario, but maybe not. But I just think that's the level of competition we've got.
Maybe that's the goal, though. Maybe they wanted because you spend more money if you buy these players in January. So, like, if they can do it now, they don't need to do it then. Maybe then we're looking at like future prospects in January.
Yeah. The only thing I could see happening as well on top of that is I think with Inoussa, Benson, and we've got 3 injury-prone wingers.
Yeah.
So we could have a couple of them get injured, and then we maybe look into the loan market for a winger in January. Apart from that, honestly, like we've got 4 strikers. You know, you know what I mean. We've got 4 centre backs. We've got 2 right backs, 2 left backs, 2 CDMs, 4 number 8s with different skill sets. A good number 2 even in goals. Even if Guru gets injured, I don't think you'd go out and buy a keeper, would you? So it's you know, honestly, I'm so chuffed. I can't believe how good of a window we've had. The only player we've lost is Darling, and we've replaced him with somebody we've given 10s. You know what I mean? Just unreal.
Yeah.
Do you want to rank the window as a whole then, or actually maybe I'll just tally up our scores and see what, because technically we've ranked everyone, so we'll see what our.
No, I know that, but I
No,
feel
I'm joking. I won't do that
because
because mine's going to be a lot lower. I just realised as I was saying
for
it.
me, like, you know, as far
It's
as
a
the
9 out of 10
championship
window, I
window
think.
goes, right? I know Premier League you could say like is different, but as a championship window, it's a 9.5. I know you'll never really select they have a 10, will you? But that's as good as you'll ever see.
I think you can only
window.
give a 10
I'd be surprised if
when you get promoted on the back of it, but we can't answer that now.
Oh yeah, I think on paper though, like now, obviously you're right. You are right, because if it ends up that we like get playoffs or something, then we look back and go, yeah, it was absolutely a 10 window. Or even in like 2 or 3 years time, where because a lot of these players are young as well, we could say, oh my god, this window. But I just think in the current climate of all the years we've been doing the podcast, of the windows that we've looked at, and we've been doom and gloom after every window nearly. I think right now, when you're looking at it on paper, I think it is a 10 window, because I just don't think what else could we have done? And again, like I said at the end, I think we were even greedy and signed more players than we needed, and quality players as well. And the new kind of transfer like policy where they're signing all these good young players on like 4-year deals. The squad is just completely regenerated. It's a totally new squad that we've got. It's probably can't go as far yet and say it's the best squad we've had, but in terms of the players that we brought in, potentially it could be. You know, we've, like you said, we've lost in the last like half a season. We've lost Darling and Grimes. If I said that to you last summer, we would have been thinking, right, that's it. Like the club is in like proper dire straits, and now we're at this position, and that's done by this one window alone. I think can't think of a better window ever, to be honest.
Particularly because of the mess that was cleaned up as well from Watson. Yeah. Like what we haven't touched on is how many people have left. Like just to read out a few names quickly. Outside of Darling, obviously, Kuharevich, Choahon, Cyrus Christie, John McLaughlin, Jerry Yates, Florian Brancini on loan to Portsmouth, Janelli on a free, Pedersen on a free, Allen and Norton retired, and well, Norton maybe not, but gone, even though we didn't necessarily want them to. Delcra back on loan to Burnley, and there's like so many failures in there, unfortunately. Some okay ones, but so many failures in there. The fact that we cleared all that deadwood out, and then every single person we brought in basically is an upgrade on what's gone. Every single one, without question, actually.
Yeah.
It's asset, like you say, because so many are on 4-year deals. Like to name a few now, of the midfield 3, Stamenic, Galbraith, Franco, like one of them's gone next summer, probably, aren't they? Like one of those 3 is going to have some interest, and they'll have like a £10 million offer. And then that's basically paid for, not far off, the transfers we brought. So it's like, that's the model that we've been crying out for again.
Yeah,
and it's finally been done properly.
I think it's amazing. You could almost, I mean, we might come back. You might clip this out and say, like, put this at the end of the season and laugh. But where we were in January, where we always say about that Coventry game after we saw Grimes, where we were relegation candidates, to now to come to this squad where we could potentially be talking about a playoff push. We might not get there, but I think the squad and the signings they've done is good enough on paper now to realistically have that challenge. To do that in one window is just, I can't say any more about it.
No, it's brilliant. And I did want to touch on the outgoings and the loans and stuff, but I think we're being a bit long. I forgot
that Bianchini left. Like in hindsight, you have to go.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the plan now.
Yeah.
He's only on loan though.
Yeah, it is loan. Yeah.
So maybe he gets recalled in January if half of his wingers get injured. Anyway, I'll probably clip it. I might clip this into half and do 2 parts of this podcast. But let's end it on our predictions then. So go on, Ben.
All right. So 2 games just to cover that we've already predicted. Every single one predicted victory, but it was 1-1, so nobody picking up any points there. And then Sheffield Wednesday away. Lee and myself go in with Swans, but incorrect score lines. Luke going for a draw. It was 2-0 to the Swans. So me and Lee pick up 2 points for a correct result. So it is on Luke. Still early days. It's 4 apiece for me and Lee and 2 for Luke. So Luke has the honours of going first for predicting Hull. And we'll probably,
I knew what I was
probably
doing.
leave it a Hull as a, yeah.
Yeah, we'll just do Hull. I think it's 2 weeks and then we'll probably be on by then. So feeling optimistic now, but it's the classic one that's going to catch you in here, where they're going to come and win after all this optimism.
There's going to be like so much like hype and positivity going into that whole game, and then McBurney scores a hat-trick.
I'm going to go 3-1 Swans.
Lee, do you want to do?
Hull aren't looking great defensively, and we are. Normally, I would, if it was like other teams, I'd probably say like a 3-3 or 3-2, but I'm quite confident in our defence to say maybe we can keep them out more.
Lee, do you want to go rock, paper, scissors through the webcam to see who goes next?
Yeah, go on then.
I'll say 3-1 go, yeah? 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, there we go.
That was a rude.
I go 2-1.
Oh, sorry, I didn't think of that then.
Where are you going, Ben?
I go 2-1 to the Swans. Similar reasons for you. Hull games. Hull are a bit weird. 0-0 on the opening day against Coventry, but they've been goal fest since then. 3-3 against Wrexham, 3-2 to Hull against Oxford, 3-0 loss to Blackburn, 4-2 to
the Blackburn
Bristol
game.
City.
Apparently, all that diarrhea. Apparently,
really. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, so did the fans after witnessing that home loss, probably. But yeah,
that's getting clipped when we lose.
But yeah, yeah. 2-1 to the Swans.
Lee,
the Swans games like they're low. I was going to say they're low scoring games with the Swans, but they're high scoring games with Hull. So by default, that'll be a medium scoring game. So yeah, 2-1.
He's going to have a hat trick. It's going to come on our hat trick.
I'm going to go. I'll go 2-0 Swans then.
We're confident then, boys.
I hope Stamenic
no one go for the classic
because he's obviously picked up an injury away.
A slight knock, and he's got time to get over it, but nobody's gone for the sneaky 1-0 Hull.
Hull's going to win this game hands down easy.
Oh yeah, we've said the best transfer window ever, we're like playoff contenders, clean sweep,
all predicted for a win, multiple goals.
So it's just guaranteed Hull win. Yeah. Banker now, you got to bet on it.
Yeah. Well, keep an eye out for the preview. I'll try and get that done in the next week or so. We're going to love you and leave you now, though, because it's been a while on this one. I think it was always going to be a long one, to be fair. But it's done now for another window. So we shall see you in the next one. Thanks, as always, for watching and listening. And catch you next time.